my God, I just freaked myself out. Totally, I'm so, oh my God, it was a voice. Okay, let me get this video done because I just totally freaked myself out. All right. Okay, y'all. I don't get scared. I don't get scared in these cemeteries. I walk around them all day long. I do not get scared. I just got scared. I heard a voice. I didn't know where it was coming from. Okay. All right, I'm gonna be okay. There was this girl, her name was Alice Flagg, and she was born to a prominent South Carolina family, and they had a big plantation. Well, she was born, and then later on her father died. Her father died, and everything they had was left to her brother and her mother. Well, Alice, she was adventurous, and she was beautiful, and, you know, she had dreams, and she lived life to the fullest. And she loved to race horses and ride her horses around the land and the plantation. And so one day she's out riding her horse, and some trees had fallen down, and there was some men out there cutting the trees down, some lumbermen. And she met eyes with one, a young man named John. And it was, I guess, maybe kind of like love at first sight. And he didn't come from the same background as her. He was handsome and young and worked hard and was loyal, but he wasn't from her station of life. And it was definitely expected that she was going to marry someone who came from the same place that she came from. So that didn't stop Alice, however, because she was falling in love with this man, this young man named John Braddock. She was falling in love with him, and he was falling in love with her. So Alice is in love with John, and the feeling's mutual. He feels the same way. But when she went to tell her family and tried to express to them how she felt about John, there was just absolute rage and disgust, and they couldn't believe what, they were hearing. They're like, "Are you kidding us?" No, absolutely not. You cannot have a relationship with this man. He's a lumberman. He's beneath your station. He's not who you're going to marry. This isn't going to happen. And they tried to put a stop to it, and they thought that was it. But, it's really hard to squash young love. And despite what her family wishes were, Alice pursued the relationship with John. And through the use of loyal servants, they exchanged messages and love notes and letters, and they were able to keep up their communication, and they would meet and talk, and they fell in love, and to the point where John gave Alice a ring, and it was an engagement ring. He wanted to marry her, and she wanted to marry him. Well, when she went to her family and broke this news to them and tried to tell them, "Look, this is who I love and this is who I want to marry," well, their answer was, no, and we're going to send you to a boarding school. So their answer was, let's send Alice off to a boarding school in Charleston, South Carolina. That's going to solve this. She needs to be taken out of here, and once she's away from this place, she's going to forget this guy. She's not going to think about him anymore. This is it's going to fade in the back of her memory. She's going to forget all about him, and it'll be all right. But it wasn't going to be okay. For dear Alice, it was real love. Despite her young age of 14, 15 years old, she knew what she felt. And her and John were serious. It didn't matter to her where he came from. What mattered is he loved her, and she felt the same for him, and they were planning on getting married. John had given Alice a ring. Some say it was a diamond ring, some say it was a plain gold ring. The material doesn't matter, it was the meaning of the ring, and Alice knew she couldn't wear the ring in front of her family. So she tied it on a ribbon, and she wore it around her neck, and she put it under her high-collared dress, close to her heart. Well, her brother and her mother could see that Alice and John were getting closer, and they decided they were going to put a stop to that. So it was going to be boarding school for Alice. So that's what they done. They shipped Alice to a boarding school in Charleston, South Carolina. Well, while she's there, she gets malaria. She gets very sick. And they sent notice to her brother, Dr. Flagg, Dr. Allard Flagg. Alice is sick. She has malaria. You need to come. So he rode 4 days. And he went to the school and he got her. And he wasn't even sure if he was going to get her home before she died. She was that sick. So he puts her in a carriage and they race back. And they're racing back home. He's not sure if they're going to make it back in time before Alice succumbs to her illness. She's pale. She's cool to touch. Her breathing is shallow. And it's during one of these assessments that Dr. Flagg does to check his sister to see if she's still breathing that he moves aside the collar of her dress. And he sees a ribbon around her neck. And on this ribbon is a ring. John had gave her an engagement ring, and she had kept it close to her heart. Well, this just sent her brother into a full-on rage. He is so angry. He is so mad. And he takes the necklace made of ribbon, and he rips it off of her neck. And he throws it out into the marsh and discards it. He throws it away. Well, he gets Alice home back to the plantation, and she's so pale and she's so sick, and she passes. And Alice dies without her ring that she'd kept so close to her heart from her beloved. He throws the ring away like it was nothing. And Alice was buried without the ring. Legend has it that Alice roams this area. Perhaps this graveyard, perhaps the plantation land that her family once owned, and she's searching for her ring that John gave her. She's searching for it. And you'll hear her voice, and she'll say, "Do you have my ring? Do you have my ring?" Let's go look at her grave. They say that Alice's brother, Dr. Flagg, was so upset with what had happened, with her having that ring around her neck and betraying the family in that way, the way he saw it, that when he buried her, when she died, that he just wanted to erase her memory. And so all he had inscribed on her stone was just her first name, Alice, so that no one would know anything else about her. But that didn't work out. Alice probably has one of the most well-known grave sites in this area. Now, this part. Superstition says if you visit Alice's grave and you bring a ring, okay, and you leave it on Alice's grave and you walk backwards 13 steps, if it's her ring, she'll appear. Let's try it. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Alice, Is that your ring? Okay. Woo! Should I just let her have that ring? I think I should. I know this isn't your ring, Alice, but you can keep it as a small token to replace the one that you lost. Okay guys, I'm getting out of here. I hope you guys enjoy the video. Please like the video and subscribe if you haven't already. And share it, feel free to share it. I would love for you to share it with your friends. It's Halloween season, it's spooky season. And I love these stories and I love telling you guys, especially the historic ones. And the trees with the Spanish moss hanging off of them, just so pretty. And there's definitely some I don't want to dive into saying that there's spirit activity, but there's a feel. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. There's a spiritual feel in this cemetery. Take that how you will. But I hope you guys enjoyed it, and please like it, and thank you so much for watching. Keep seeking, guys. Bye.